Hey. Perfect. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another live community classroom with Michaels. We have our friend Tamara Kelly with us today to learn how to make this textured crochet winter hat. My name is Renee L. from Yarn Inspirations, and I'll be helping with any questions you might have during today's class. Please feel free to drop your questions in the chat, and we'll make sure that Tamara answers them. While we're getting ready to kick things off, let us know where you're watching from. Over to you, Tamara.
Okay, thanks so much. As she said, I'm Tamara from Moogly, and I'm here today specifically to teach the Winter Trellis Crochet Hat. Now, this hat is a one skein pattern. It calls for one skein of Red Heart Soft in your choice of colors, but I want to point out it calls for 2 hooks. We're going to use the bigger hook to make the majority of the hat, and then you just use the smaller hook for the last 2 rounds of the brim to tighten it up a little bit. So, since this hat is made from the top down, you can try it on as you go and decide whether you want to make that bottom couple rounds a little tighter or if you want to stick with the bigger hook all the way to the end. Either way works. Now, while it's only one skein, this hat does take way more than 1 hour to make. It uses post stitches, it has a lot of texture, and it's really lovely. So in order to make this class go as smoothly as possible today, I'm going to be skipping some rows, especially rows that are just repeats of the previous row. And I'm just going to really be focusing on the rows that I think are the most complicated and will hopefully show you how to do the vast majority of the hat. As they mentioned, today's class is completely recorded. So if you don't miss something, you can go ahead and watch the recording later. It's usually up within 24 hours on the Michaels YouTube channel. But unfortunately, I can't go back and necessarily repeat these rows because we have a lot of rows to try and get through. And additionally, of course, you wouldn't be able to just keep up and crochet the hat straight through. Again, can't get it done in an hour's time, but we'll do the best we can and get as much done of the hat as we can get done here today. So let's go ahead. I'll bring in my hand camera and we'll switch on over here. Okay, so as I said, we're using Red Heart Soft, and the 2 hook size called for in the pattern are a U.S. I 5.5 millimeter and a U.S. K 6.5 millimeter. So the K hook, the bigger one, is what we use for the majority of the hat, and the smaller one just comes in right at the end. So this is Red Heart Soft, widely available in a ton of colors, so pick your favorite. I'm going to be using this gray color today because I think it shows up the best on camera. So, few things I want to point out after we find our end here and get it pulled out is there's lots of things to point out in this pattern. In addition to needing 2 different hooks in 2 different sizes, you should always read through the special stitch descriptions before you begin a pattern. That said, the front post decrease instructions are a little off for this, and I will be going over that again when we get to that row, but I want to make sure to go over that now in case we don't get to that row. So if you're following along with the written pattern for this, the front post decrease right here, these instructions right here, should read yarn over and drop a loop around the post of the same double crochet front post as the last stitch worked in front of the work, inserting hook from right to left, which leaves 3 loops on the hook. Then you yarn over and drop a loop around the post of the next 2 double crochet front post stitches, yarn over and draw through the 2 loops on the hook twice. So we do that twice. Like I say, we'll try and work it through together, but basically it's a 3 front post double crochet together decrease. You start the first one, leave it with 3 loops on the hook, start the next 2, finish each of those with just the last loop on the hook, so that at the end you have 5 loops on the hook. Again, that'll make a lot more sense when I can describe it, but I wanted to get it out there at the beginning in case we don't get to that row. I also want to point out that we'll be doing puff stitches where we go into that stitch 4 times for a total of 9 loops on the hook, and that puff stitch will get a chain 1 at the end to close. That does not count as a stitch of its own, so that's something you'll want to pay attention as you go through this pattern as well. Unfortunately, these things come up towards the end of the pattern, so like I said, I just want to make sure we got those out there right up at the beginning. Other things to point out, this pattern comes in 2 sizes, and those sizes where those instructions are different are color-coded in the pattern. So the small instructions are red, the medium instructions are orange. I also want to point out that we always need to skip the top of the stitch behind each post stitch. And again, we're going to be starting with the larger hook. So that was kind of all the really important notes. Sometimes when you've got a little bit more complicated pattern like this, using post stitches and really fun stitches like that, there's just a lot of notes and special stitches that we need to read ahead of time. So now we can go ahead and begin. Again, we want to use our larger hook. This is our USK hook, and they have you start with an adjustable ring, which is really similar to the magic circle, which is how I like to do it. So that's what I'd like to demo for you here today. I'm going to come about 6 inches or so into my yarn here away from the end. I'm going to wrap my yarn over my first finger twice towards me, just like that. So let's do that again. I stick my finger out, I come to basically yarn over my finger twice, just like that. Then I insert my hook under both of those loops. Get that a little bit closer there. Grab that loop that's further back, pull it just under the first one, and then I just make a little chain to sort of lock those loops together. Then I can go ahead and crochet the stitches for round 1. And when I do that, I want to make sure that I go into that ring and under this tail. And that will hold those together and create the magic ring so that we can tighten it up at the end of the round. So to begin round 1, we now begin with a chain 2, 1, 2. And this chain 2 will count as our first double crochet. Then we want to work either 6 double crochets in the ring for the smaller size or 7 for the larger size. For the purposes of keeping it as short as possible today, I'm going to make the smaller size. So now I need to work 6 double crochets into that ring. And again, I just want to make sure that I go under that loop and the tail end there. It's not actually attached to anything, it's just the tail end, but we want to make sure to enclose that in each one of these stitches. So let me get that one pulled through here. Oh, lost my stitch. Let's try it again. Yarn over, go under both of those strands, yarn over and pull up that loop, yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. There we are, standard double crochet. Now with that stitch made, I can go ahead and pull my finger out of there. So now we've got our chain 2 and our first double crochet, and now I need to add a few more. So if you look at this pattern, you can see the small fits head sizes 20 to 22 inches, and the medium fits head sizes 22 to 24 inches. And it really does all start in this first round with the number of stitches you have. So including that chain 2 as the first stitch, then when we look at our stitch count for round 1, we should have a total of 7 or 8 stitches, depending on size. So I think I've got maybe one more to go here, and then I'll count my stitches. Let's see, want to make sure to include that chain 2. It's really easy to start thinking of that as a turning chain. Oops, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I went way too far. I only needed 7. So let's go ahead and pull 2 of those right back out. There we are. So now we've got 7 stitches made. You want the larger size, you want to have 8. And we can take that tail end, because we've crocheted all over all of those ends, and just give it a tug, and it closes that right up in the middle. Then we can finish off our round with a slip stitch in the top of the beginning chain 2. But before we do that, because we're working in the round, and it's very easy when working in the round to accidentally count your slip stitch as one of your stitches, I like to always put stitch markers in the first and last stitch of the round. Now we're joining to the top of that chain 2 right there, so I know it's going to be a little bit tight. Getting into the top of those chains often are. So I could go ahead and put the stitch marker in here, but I'm just going to use it instead to pull that loop up a little bit, and then I'll put it in the top of the first stitch I make here, because trying to get in the hook in there while there's still a stitch marker in there would probably be pretty tricky. Just want to take our time to get our hook there in the top of that chain 2. And then we can slip stitch them together. There we are. So that is the end of round 1. And again, you should have a total of 7 or 8 stitches depending on size. Were there any questions I could answer right away on round 1?
So far, so good.
Okay, great. Then we'll move on to round 2. Now round 2 starts and it says chain 1 loosely. Now we're not chaining loosely here because we want to work back into this chain, but rather we want it to be a little bit taller. So instead of thinking of it as loose, think of it as giving a little bit of a tug up there before you yarn over and pull through. And that will give you that height you need. So then what we're going to do is we're going to work 2 double crochet front post stitches around the beginning chain 2 and around each remaining double crochet. So however many stitches you made in that first round, we're going to be doubling it. We're going to be working 2 stitches around each of these stitches. So to begin, and this is where I kind of wish we were using super chunky yarn for it, even though it wouldn't make a great hat. What you want to do is pull that out and really look for that chain 2 right there. Then we're going to yarn over and we're going to put our hook in from the front on one side of that chain 2. I'm putting it on the right side because I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed, you'll be coming in from the other side. And then we bring that hook right behind that post and bring it up on the other side. So we go in from the front and pop right out around the post there, that chain 2. Then we yarn over, pull that loop right behind the chain 2. Now we've got 3 loops on our hook, and it's okay to go ahead and give that loop a little bit of a wiggle so you've got some working room. Then yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. We've made a double crochet. We've just worked it in a different place. Instead of working it under the top 2 loops, we've worked it around the post of that chain 2. So now, before I make the second one, I want to go ahead and put that stitch marker right in there, right in the top of that first double crochet, not that chain 1, but that front post double crochet or double crochet front post is our first stitch. Then we need to do that again around that same chain 2 space. So if you look right here, you can see where it went in right there. We want to go right in that same space. We're basically going to be wrapping this one right underneath the previous one. That stitch marker is in the last stitch of the first round. This stitch marker is now in the first stitch of the first round. So we go from the front, behind that chain 2, pop our our hook out on the other side, yarn over, pull that loop up and around, pull it right to the front of your fabric there, then yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So now we've got our first 2 post stitches made, both around that chain 2. Now we need to make 2 of those post stitches around each of the remaining stitches. So we yarn over and really go ahead and pull your work apart. It's just yarn, it's not going to break it. Pull it apart until you can see that space. Makes it a lot easier. We go in on the side of the post and pop out on the other side. And again, it's because I'm right-handed. If you were left-handed, which I wish I was talented enough to demonstrate, but I'm not, you go in on that side and pop up on the other side. But once you go around that post, it really is just a standard double crochet. So you're just making it in a different spot. So if you haven't made post stitches before, if you've been waiting to give them a try, it's the stitches you already know, you're just putting your hook in a different spot. So let's pull that a little bit closer and open it up, and we'll do the next one. We'll find that post right there of the next stitch. Remember, we're ignoring the V at the top. We're just going around the post. We go down on one side and up on the other. If we turn it over, you can see there's the tops of the stitches right there. We just want the post of that stitch on top of our hook. Then we yarn over, pull that loop up into the front of our fabric there, give it a little bit of a tug if needed, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. And we yarn over and do it again around that same stitch. Pull up that loop and finish it off. So I'm going to take the rest of these a little bit quicker because we have a lot of stitching to get to for this hat, and we're going to be doing a lot of these front post double crochet stitches. So if you don't have, Renee's putting some great suggestions in the chat. If you don't have stitch markers available, you can absolutely use bobby pins. You can use safety pins, whatever has got a little shape to it. So it'll say they're earrings. I've seen people use earrings. Lobster clasps in particular are great substitutes for stitch markers. If you've got some jewelry findings laying around, you can use all kinds of really great things as a stitch marker. I definitely, when I was first learning to crochet, it was not one of the first things I invested in. I did when I realized once how they were handy they are, but you can absolutely substitute with other stuff in the meantime. Let's see, I'm going to pull up just a little bit more yarn here from my skein. There we are. So I've just been putting those 2 post stitches around each of those stitches here all the way around. Really pull that apart, make sure you're not skipping one. And now we have that last marked stitch, so I know that's the last stitch from the first round. So I can go in on one side and pop up on the other. And finish it off just as a regular double crochet. Then the next one, same thing, just go right underneath the first one. Just like that. So then at the end of round 2, since we've doubled our stitches, we work 2 stitches around each stitch of the previous round, then you should have either 14 or 16 stitches. Then we just join right in the top of that first marked stitch. So before I do that, I want to grab that stitch marker out of round 1 that was marking the last stitch before and put it in the last stitch of this round. There we are. Now, again, if you haven't seen post stitches before, I want to go ahead and show you what the other side of this looks like, because it's not what you're used to seeing on the wrong side of your fabric. Hopefully you can see it there. It's a little harder to see on camera, but there's a lot of texture here. There's a lot of thickness, and that's just part of how the post stitches are made. So don't freak out if the back of your fabric looks really strange or like you're not used to. That is pretty normal for your fabric. So that's just how it is on the back side of post stitches right there. So let me pull up a little bit more yarn here. And then we finish off round 2 with a slip stitch in that very first stitch. So we insert our hook in that first stitch, yarn over, and pull that slip stitch right on through. And this is where you can see having those stitch markers is really handy for working in the round, because I won't mistake that slip stitch for a stitch. Now I've got my last stitch marked and my first stitch marked. So now we can begin round 3. But before I do that, were there any questions specifically about round 2?
Nothing about round 2.
Okay,
Okay.
great. So we'll keep moving then, because time is flying by. I know it. Round 3, we're going to chain 1 loosely. There we go. And then we're going to work 2 front post double crochets around each front post double crochet around. Sounds familiar, right? It's exactly what we were doing before, only now we've got post stitches that we get to work around. And I think that makes it even easier, frankly. So we've got our chain 1, we've got our first stitch marked right here, but we're not working around a post stitch. That's going to make it really easy to find. We're not going to work into that top 2 loops. So we'll pull that out of the way. And now we need to pull that fabric apart again. You can see back there is that little chain we had before, but this right here is our first post stitch right there. So we are going to be making our post stitches now around other post stitches. So we can take our yarn over first, of course, because it's a double crochet, take our hook and just, again, go down on one side of that post, and up on the other. And if you need to pull that fabric apart to get your hook in there, it's absolutely fine. So then you can yarn over, pull that loop up and through, and make a double crochet. Now that's our first one. So we'll go ahead and mark that very first one with our stitch marker. Takes a couple extra seconds each round, but I really do find it to be worth it. And then same thing, find that same post stitch, go down on one side and up on the other. And as you go and these post stitches get a little more separated in this pattern, it becomes even easier. But again, you can just really pull your fabric apart and find each stitch, go right around it, and make a post stitch. And again, I know this is going really quickly, especially if you're not familiar with post stitches. It's certainly not in real time, probably to make an actual hat, but the recording, you can definitely slow it down, speed it up, use the gear icon available on YouTube to customize the speed of it for you as best you can. We've just got so many stitches that I want to demonstrate for you in this video that unfortunately I can't linger too long on any one of them. Again, I need to pull up some more yarn. We've just got lots of stitches to make in this one. We're working 2 stitches again in each stitch around, which means we're doubling our stitches again. So in our first round, you had either 7 or 8. So your second round, you'll have double that, either 14 or 16. And again, after round 3 here, you'll have either 28 or 32. We're just getting it really well established here. But I wanted to go ahead and make this one so I could show you both working around those post stitches and show you the back side again, because it's going to have a texture you might not be used to, but I think actually is really great for projects like this because it makes it a little more insulated and a little warmer. They always say you lose all your heat through the top of your head, right? Your head and your socks. Both things we can fix with yarn. So let's see here. Just working my way around. Were there any questions about post stitches here or working these post stitches that I could answer while we've got a few more to make here?
No, nothing on that note.
Great. Okay. Alrighty. And we are going around. I just saw a question asking, can you substitute with Red Heart Heat Wave? I think this is a worsted weight yarn, so yes. Yes, that should be just fine. I had to think for a second. They are the
That's a
same
great idea.
weight.
It'd be slightly warmer.
Yeah, it would be even warmer. So yeah, I don't see any reason not to. That'd be great. That one does run, I find, just a hair thicker. So the hat might be just a little bit bigger with that one. So I would say check your gauge, and if your gauge is just a little bit bigger, if you were going to make the medium size, you might end up making the small, but I think otherwise it would be a really, really good substitute. So I'm at my last marked stitch, and again, I know I took this one a little bit quicker, but it's more post stitches, and I wanted to get to something where we're doing a little different, make it a little more valuable for you to watch here. So I've got my last stitch made for round 3. So I'm going to pull up that stitch marker and put it there. And now you can see what that looks like from behind. There we go. All right. So you can see there's those layers from behind. When we're working those post stitches, it really pushes part of that stitch back. So we're going to be using that, throughout the hat. We're going to be making these post stitches. So you won't necessarily have these big rings, but you will have a lot of texture inside your hat. And again, that's very, very normal for this style of stitching. So now we can finish up round 3 with a slip stitch here in our first stitch. And then if we look at round 4 says chain 1 loosely, and then simply work a front post double crochet or double crochet front post, what we've been doing, around each stitch around. So you just front post double crochet 1 around each stitch around and join. So we're going to go ahead and skip over that one because it's just crocheting a stitch in each stitch around, and it's the same stitches we've been making. So for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and move on to round 5, or our 5th round. So our 5th round is a little different. We're going to chain 1, and then we work a single crochet in the same double crochet front post as the join. Basically, single crochet in the first stitch. Now that is our first stitch for this row, so I want to move my stitch marker up again. There we go. Pull up a little bit more yarn from my skein. Here we are. And then after we've made that first single crochet in our very first stitch, we are going to work a double crochet front post around that same stitch. So let's take a closer look. I worked a single crochet in the top of that front post double crochet right there because it still has 2 loops at the top, even though it's a post stitch. But now I'm going to work a post stitch around that same stitch. So I want to go right around that first stitch, just as we've been doing. Pull up that loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Then we go back to our instructions here. And this is where we now begin the section that begins with the asterisk. So if you're following along with the written pattern, this begins the asterisk section, which would be our repeat. We work a single crochet in the next front post double crochet. So the very next one, I'm going to pull it apart there, make sure you go into that very next stitch, work a single crochet in there, and then work a front post double crochet around that same stitch. So yarn over and go around that same post. So we are doubling our stitches again. Wait, that can't be right. Sorry, guys, let me just double check the instructions here. I want to make sure I'm reading this right. Okay, yes, that is right. We're doubling our number of stitches. The way they've written out the stitch count at the end threw me for a second. But we are doubling our stitches. We're working 2 stitches in each stitch. A single crochet, then a front post double crochet around it. So every stitch we come to, we work a single crochet in the top first, and then a double crochet front post right around it. Find that next stitch, work a single crochet right in the top, and then a front post double crochet right around it. And this is what I was talking about when you practice post stitches and you get used to them. And as you start making rows upon rows or rounds upon rounds of post stitches, it becomes a lot easier to sort of get in there. You start finding you have a lot more space to get in there with your hook. And that will continue on through the pattern quite a bit. So this round, again, we just want to double the number of our stitches because we're working a single crochet in the top of each one and then a post stitch around it. And of course, this is the whole small size here, so I've got quite a few to make. One thing to look for as you're making these stitches, let me get this one done and I'll show you here on the next one. This was the second one worked around that post stitch. And because we were working 2 post stitches around the post stitches in the previous row, that first one can want to hide and go back a little bit. So again, you want to make sure to pull your fabric apart and make sure you're not accidentally skipping over the first one that you worked in the previous round. I need to pull up some more yarn again, running through it pretty quickly here. This yarn, skein style, is designed to be pulled from the outside. So I see sometimes people post about having some trouble getting it to pull from the inside. This skein style is designed to be pulled from the outside. So keep that in mind. There we are. And yes, post stitches definitely are yarn eaters. I just saw that post pop up. As you can see, I have to keep stopping to pull up more yarn from my skein, but they do eat up a bit of yarn. But again, great for a project like a hat, especially because they add a lot of texture and warmth. And the whole hat won't be quite this thick. We definitely will spread out these post stitches. It's just these first few rounds that are very, very thick with them, so to speak. Oop, pull that one out. See, there it did. I almost missed one. Right there. Just take your time. Take more time than I'm taking. I just want to get through this so I can show you the next round and then the round after that and get just as far in this pattern as we can, because we're going to start moving these posts around a little bit to create the texture and the pattern that we see in the photo. So were there any questions about this that I could answer here while we finish up our round 5?
Oh, nothing so far. Just some folks saying we could use a 2-part lesson, which means they want us to be with you all night. We want to be with you guys all night too.
Oh my gosh, no kidding. Yeah, if we had 2 hours, I could definitely slow way down. I can see this hat being definitely kind of a crochet along afternoon type thing.
Totally.
But that's why that's why I know I'm kind of rushing through some of these, but I really want to be able to hit on the more exciting and more difficult parts of the pattern that I think will give people a little bit more pause. So I may very well be missing a stitch here or two, but it should get us enough to demo with. So
Right. And then folks can just pause as they need on YouTube and slow down.
absolutely. Yeah, you would want to pause and make all the rows I'm going to be skipping anyway. So, but they're generally the easier ones. I've tried to only plan to skip the ones that are very, very simple or simply a repeat of a previous row. So that makes it a little easier, I hope. Alrighty, we're almost at the end here, and you can see mine is doing kind of a crazy hyperbolic wave type thing. We've already skipped a row, so mine's not as big as it should be on the the real sized hat. So do not let that weird you out. That said, sometimes hats do get kind of hyperbolic at the beginning, and then they straighten out as you go. We've got lots of increases here at the beginning of this hat, and then we don't have nearly as many increases as we go on. So it's going to be a little wobbly like this at the beginning, but then it will all smooth out as you make the rest of the hat. So now I'm at my last marked stitch. So I want to go ahead and get my single crochet in there, followed by my post stitch. Remember, the post stitch is the last one. So that's where I want to put my stitch marker. Right in the top of that one there. And then we can join. Okay, so that is how we do round 5. Now, rounds 6 through 11 are simply, I'm going to demonstrate the first few and then I'm going to pull them back out for the sake of time here, because rounds 6 through 11 are all exactly the same. And I think you'll see just how easy they are. We start with a chain 1, single crochet in the first stitch. Here we go. Go ahead and move that stitch marker on up. The first stitch there. Then we front post double crochet around the post stitch. So single crochet in the single crochets and post stitch around the post stitches. That's the best way to sum up rounds 6 through 11. So you can pull apart your work and look, next is a single crochet. We single crochet. Next is a post stitch. We work a post stitch. So we're not increasing at all in rounds 6 through 11. That's what I was talking about. We've got all these waves right now. The next few rounds are going to be all worked even, and it's just a single crochet in each single crochet and a post stitch around each post stitch. But you can see that's going to give us a little bit of space there and really pull those apart as we go as well. So for the sake of time, since it's simply like that, just repeat that for the rounds 6 through 11. let's go ahead and jump to round 12 because I know I've got the right number of stitches to make round 12, and that's again where things start to get a little more interesting. Round 12 starts again with a chain 1 and a single crochet in that very first stitch. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave that single crochet right there. Then to continue on, we work a single crochet in the next post stitch. So that would be a post stitch right there. And that is the first stitch of our repeat. So we made the single crochet, then we begin our repeat. A single crochet in the front post stitch, then a front post stitch around that same post stitch. So single crochet, post stitch around that same stitch. There we go. Then skip the next single crochet. It'll be that one right there. Pull that apart. Post stitch around the next post stitch. Like that. Then we single crochet in the next single crochet. I just want to make sure I get this one right because it's a long repeat. We had our first single crochet, then our repeat begins with a single crochet in the next front post double crochet around the front post double crochet, skip the single crochet, front post around the next front post double crochet, and single crochet in the next single crochet. There we are. With this row in particular, when I was making my practice piece last night, I found it really helpful to have a piece of paper, something like that. I'm going to go ahead. This is the Post-it note I had for today's class. And really just use a Post-it note or something like this when you get to the rounds like round 12, where it gets a little confusing and you've got a really long repeat. Use the Post-it note or something like it to really help you follow down those rows and rounds. And don't be afraid to go back and really count out your stitches and make sure you work it through, because it's very easy to get lost in these rounds. So that said, I'm going to use my Post-it note as well. So we've got our single crochet right there in our next single crochet. Then we work a front post double crochet around the next one, right around that next post stitch. Skip the single crochet after that and front post double crochet around the next one. There we go. And then we single crochet in the same front post double crochet. So we've already worked a post stitch around that one. Let me get centered again there. We want to pull that post stitch forward. We still have the top 2 loops behind it. And we want to go into the top of that stitch. So it can be a little tricky if you've already made the post stitch around it, but don't be afraid to pull that back and then put that single crochet right in the top there. So then we single crochet in the next single crochet right there. And that is the end of our repeat. So let's look at our repeat together, because if we look at this, it's a little bit easier to remember how it goes so we can keep making it to the end. We single crochet, front post stitch, single crochet, front post stitch, single crochet in the same single crochet. Makes it a little easier as we make the repeats around, and as you make the repeats, it's a little easier to follow. So we start again at the asterisk, single crochet in the next post stitch. Here we are. Front post stitch around that same post stitch. Skip that next one, post stitch around the next post stitch. Single crochet in the next single crochet. Front post stitch around the next front post stitch. Skip the next single crochet and front post stitch around the next front post stitch. Here we are. Then we need to single crochet in that same stitch that we post stitched around. So pull that one forward and go into the top of that same stitch for a single crochet, and then single crochet in the stitch after that. That is that repeat again. We're going to continue that repeat all the way around. Go to the next one, single crochet in the next stitch. It's a front post stitch around that post stitch, front post stitch around the next post stitch, single crochet in the next single crochet, front post stitch around the next front post stitch, skip the next single crochet and front post stitch around the next front post stitch, single crochet in that same stitch, pull it forward, look behind, go in the top of that same stitch, and then single crochet in the stitch after that. So when we started out with either 6 or 7, or I should say 7 or 8 stitches, that's going to become either 7 or 8 repeats. That's how the hat grows out in size. So we've got a couple more here before I can get on to round 13. So were there any questions about this section before or as I continue to make it, I should say?
So far so good.
Okay.
We got a nice compliment saying the instruction was a mouthful, so thank you for showing how to complete those steps. You made it clearer.
Yeah, I tell you what, I really had to sit with this whole section last night, and go over it myself. So it really kind of helps to think of it as that single crochet, 2 front post stitches, single crochet, 2 front post stitches, and a single crochet. And knowing that those 2 ones on the side are sort of tucked behind. I know it sounds strange, but mentally it helps me to think of each of those sort of as having its own shape and its own little set there. I think hopefully it will make it a little easier to follow here. So I'm just doing the same thing. We've got front post stitch, single crochet. Looks like I might have missed some stitches there because I was in a little bit of a hurry, but we can fake it, no problem. Get some post stitches around these guys. I put 1 single crochet behind there, and then single crochet in the next stitch. Again, same thing I've been doing the whole thing around. Looks like I've got officially, I think, 3 more repeats here to go for this one, but I am concerned about time. So what you would do is simply continue to make those repeats all the way around. Then you don't have to make the very last single crochet because we made that one first at the beginning there. Remember, the second stitch started our repeat. So the last stitch of our repeat is right there. That's fine. And then you would just go ahead and join. So for the sake of time, because I really want to show you guys these more complicated stitches as much as possible, I'm going to go ahead and jump to round 13, even though we haven't finished round 12 here. So little sneaky trick here. I'm going to just pull the yarn loop up big and pretend we've gone all the way around so that I can show you guys some more of these stitches here. Just trying to work with the time we have here. Pull up some more yarn. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my big loop and pretend we've gone all the way around. I just need to get my hands organized here again with all my yarn. Okay. So we are going to say that we have gone all the way around for round 12 and we're ready to begin round 13. So round 13, we begin again with a chain of 1. So I'm going to go right in that first stitch. Again, I'm just going to pretend I went all the way around and I've already joined to it. I'm going to go in that first stitch there. It's a little wobbly right now. And do my chain 1. There we are. That off. Okay. So now I've got my chain 1 to begin round 13. There we are, all set. So I'm going to single crochet in the same stitch that I joined to there. So our first stitch gets a single crochet. We want to go ahead and mark the top of that stitch. Then we single crochet in the next stitch. And then we begin the section that begins with our asterisk, and this is our repeat for round 13. Single crochet in the next post stitch. Then post stitch around the same post stitch. So yarn over and go right around that same post stitch. Make it a double crochet. There we are. Then holding the next 2 double crochet front post stitches together and skipping the single crochet in between them, we work 1 double crochet front post stitch around them as if they were 1 stitch. Big mouthful, sounds like a lot. Here's how it goes. We're going to yarn over because it's a front post double crochet. Then we're going to find those next 2 post stitches right there. And you can try and hold them together, but I think it's a little easier to just go under them one at a time. So we're going to yarn over. We're going to slide our hook right under that first post stitch right there. And then the second one. There we go. So let me take my hook back out so we can show that again. These are the 2 post stitches that we're working under next. We've gone around this first one. Now we've got these 2, and there's a single crochet in the middle, but we're going to ignore that. We yarn over and go behind the first one, and then immediately go behind the second one. Then we can yarn over with our yarn and pull it behind both of those posts and just finish it off like a regular double crochet. That's it. So let's go ahead and continue this repeat, and then we'll do that together again here as we go. So after we have done that maneuver, then we front post double crochet around the next front post double crochet. This one right here, the last one hanging out here at the end, our number 4. Then we single crochet in that same stitch. So we pull that one forward. I want to put our single crochet right in the top of that stitch. Then we single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So that gives us, if we look closely, we can see there where our post stitches are. We've got some space in between. We should have 3 single crochets we can work in there. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect, because that brings us to our next post stitch. So now we can begin our repeat again. We begin with a single crochet in that post stitch right there. Then we front post stitch around that post stitch. So yarn over first, go in there, make our double crochet, and then we yarn over, go under the next post stitch and the post stitch after that. Yarn over, and don't yarn over the top, but try and pull your yarn kind of in front of those stitches. You can see how I kind of wrap it around the front. That's going to do a better job pulling those together here and really getting a nice clean look to our post stitches. So after we've done that, then we front post stitch around the next post stitch and then pull that one forward to single crochet right in the top of that same stitch. Then we're back to our little zone of single crochets. We should have 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then let's do this repeat together again. Single crochet in the top of that next post stitch around that same stitch, then yarn over, go under the next post stitch or behind it, however you want to think about it, and then behind the next one, yarn over, pull that loop behind both, and yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Front post double crochet around the next stitch, and then stop to pull up some more yarn as necessary. For me it is, let's see here. There we go. Then, let's see, where were we? We did our post stitch, pull together post stitch, so we pull that one forward and single crochet right behind it. And then we're back more to 3 single crochets. So that is our repeat here for round 13. And when you get to the end of the round, rather than having 3 single crochets to crochet into, you'll just have 1 single crochet to crochet into before you join. But otherwise, it's the same repeat all the way around for round 13. So was there anything I could show again on that? We've got one more repeat here, mostly that I could do before we move to round 14.
Nothing so far.
Okay, well, then again, and for the sake of time, let's go ahead and say we've gone all the way around for round 13. Make my big loop there so I can pull up some yarn, and we'll come back over here and say we are ready for round 14. So round 14 begins again with a chain 1 and a single crochet in that first stitch. So I'm just going to put my hook right in there, try and do this a little neater this time, a little less clumsily. Pull my loop up. I spoke too soon. There we go. That stitch marker wants to be in the way. Let me get that out of the way here. Okay, so I'm in that first stitch again, and we're ready to begin round 14. So I'm going to chain 1 and make my first single crochet in that very first stitch. Put my stitch marker right back in there. And then we single crochet in the next 2 stitches. Let me get all centered up nice here. All right, we've got our single crochet in that first stitch, single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, 1 and 2. Alrighty, then we begin the section that begins with our asterisks. So again, if you're following along with the written pattern, this begins our repeat. We single crochet in the next post stitch. Then we front post decrease. Got to look closely at this one. FPDEC, not FPDC. Front post decrease. This is the part I was hoping to get to because it's a little different than what's written in the pattern. So I'm really, really happy we were able to get to this. And let me pull out my written instructions so I can make sure I do it correctly as well. What we're going to be doing is we're going to basically be turning these 3 post stitches right here, the one we did before, the one we did gathering the 2 together, and that last one. Now we're going to be turning these into 1 stitch. So to do this, we yarn over, we go under that very first post stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. We now have 3 loops on the hook. We want to leave all 3 of those loops there. We're now going to yarn over, go under that next stitch, and go ahead and, like I say, pull your stitches apart, make it easy for yourself. Go under the next one, yarn over and pull up a loop. Now we have 5 loops on the hook, so we want to yarn over and pull through the first 2. There we are. Now we've got 4 loops on the hook. We yarn over again, find that next post stitch, the third one there in the group, go under that one, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through just the first 2. That should leave us with 5 loops on our hook. And again, don't worry, I'm going to do that again here in a minute. When you've got those 5 loops left on your hook, we yarn over and pull through all 5 of those loops to finish off the stitch. So even though we've made kind of different legs going into those stitches, we closed it off by pulling through all those loops. There's only 1 V at the top, and now we've turned that into 1 stitch. So we'll come back to that here again in our repeat for row 14. But we've done that one. So now we work a single crochet in the same stitch as the last leg of this decrease we just made. So we can kind of turn that over again or pull it forward. And you want to look for, let me pull that up so I can get it a little closer because it's kind of hard to see. There's that last post stitch there. And we want to look for the top of that stitch right there. And that's where we want to go in for our single crochet. Like so. All right. Then I'm just double checking my instructions here. Then we single crochet in each of the next 5 single crochets. So we've got another big section of single crochets here. So we should have 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Perfect. That brings us right back to our next section of post stitches. So we can work that repeat together here again. So we single crochet in that very first post stitch. I'm going to go right in the top of it. Then we begin that front post decrease. We yarn over, insert our hook under the first front post stitch here, yarn over and pull up a loop. Got 3 loops left on the hook. You can go ahead and give those a little tug if you need to, give yourself a little bit more working room. Then we're going to yarn over again. Pull your work apart if you need to, find that center post stitch there. Go around that one, yarn over, pull up our loop. Now we have 5 loops left on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through just those first 2, or last 2 that you made, I should say. Now we've got 4 loops left on our hook, you can see right there. I'm going to yarn over again. Find that last post stitch there. We go behind that post stitch, yarn over, pull up our loop. Right now we have 6 loops on the hook. Then we yarn over, pull through just those first 2. Now we have 5 loops left on the hook. You can pull them apart and see all of them right there. And then we yarn over and pull through all 5 of those loops to finish our stitch. Then we need to sort of flip that forward again and find that the top of that last post stitch there to put 1 more single crochet in there. And another way to check that, if you flip it over, you're really only skipping the top of 1 stitch in between because you're working into the top of that first post stitch, and then at the end you work into the top of that last one. So you've just got the 1 skipped stitch in between there. Then we're right back to our 5 single crochets. So were there any questions I could answer on this one here while I just do the single crocheting across here?
So far so good.
Okay, great. Let's see, 4 and 5. I always like to count those. It's a great way to make sure you're ending up in the right spot. We've got 1 more repeat here we can make together before I run out of space. So let's go ahead and do this 1 more time. We've got our first post stitch there. We're going to single crochet right in the top of that one. Pull up some more yarn because I ran out again. As you say, post stitches are a yarn eater. There we are. Then we go around that first post stitch right behind it, yarn over and pull up our loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over again, go behind the second one, yarn over and pull up a loop. Now we're going to stop and pull, yarn over and pull through those first 2 loops on our hook there. Then yarn over again, find the next one, go behind that one, yarn over and pull up that loop, yarn over and pull through those first 2. And we've got 5 loops left on the hook. We yarn over and pull through all 5 of those loops. Then make sure to get that last single crochet right behind that last post stitch, like so, and then you should have 5 more single crochets to continue on across. But of course, on our little sample here, we have run out of space. So let me go ahead and pull that out, and then we can try and jump on here to round 15. See if we can't get at least one more round here made before we run out of time. So I'm going to go ahead and just insert my hook here in my first stitch and find my yarn. Let me get myself sort of sorted here. I had to move my instructions so I could read them for the next round here. Alrighty. It's not the prettiest solution, but hopefully it will demonstrate the stitches as well as possible here. So we've got our yarn in, or hook rather, in our first stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and make my chain 1. There we are. So now double check. Yes, round 15 starts with a single crochet in that first stitch. Makes it easy. Go ahead and move that stitch marker right on up. That new first stitch of the round. And then we single crochet in each of the next 2 single crochets. 1, 2. And then we begin the section that begins with the asterisk for round 15. We skip the next single crochet. You can see there's one more right there. And then we work a front post double crochet around that decrease. So we want to be able to go around that whole thing. So I'm going to skip that next stitch, yarn over, and now I want to make sure that I insert my hook behind every section of that stitch. And it should go to relatively easy. You know, try and just kind of slide your hook right behind those stitches there. You can see a little bit from the back, but we've got all 3 of those legs. We really want to make sure we get all of those on top of our hook before we yarn over and pull that loop through and then make that double crochet. So we're going to be having just one line coming off that guy right there. So let's go ahead and pull that out and do it again. Because one thing you want to watch for when you do make this stitch is that it's really easy, because you're focusing on getting your hook behind these, to make this first loop, the loop on our hook, really big. And when we do that, it creates a really loose stitch. It's a really easy thing to accidentally do. So we don't want to make it a crazy tight stitch. We don't want to put a lot of tension on our hook, but we just want to be aware of the size of that stitch before we make our yarn over and as we make this stitch, because otherwise you just end up with a really kind of wonky stitch right there. But again, after we've got our yarn over, just slide your hook behind that whole decrease there, and then yarn over and pull up your loop, and then yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. And that's all there is to that little bit. Then we need to work a single crochet in the same stitch, basically in the top of that decrease. So you can pull forward, sorry about that, pull forward again. Find the top of that decrease right there. Put a single crochet right in that. There we go. Then we front post double crochet around that decrease again. So around that decrease, we've got a front post double crochet, a single crochet in the top of it, and now we're going to front post double crochet it around it again. Remember when we worked 2 front post double crochets around the stitches before, we just went underneath the first one. We're gonna do the same thing for this one. So we yarn over, come back now around that whole decrease again, yarn over, we just put it right underneath the yarn over from the previous one, pull that loop up and through, and finish our double crochet. So now at the top of that centered again, the top of that decrease, we have double crochet, single crochet, double crochet. So now we're splitting those cables off into the paths that you see in that hat. So after we have done that, then we skip the next single crochet and single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. So we want to make sure we skip that one right there and single crochet in the next 5. And if this doesn't work out, if you find you don't have the right number of stitches here, it's likely you just missed skipping one back there, or you might have skipped too many. And don't forget, you're going to skip one more here at the beginning of this next repeat. So we've got our 5 single crochets made there, and now we're ready for that repeat again. So let's go ahead and do it together one more time. We are going to start with the asterisk. We skip that next single crochet. We front post double crochet around that whole decrease. So yarn over and get behind that whole chunky thing. Yarn over, pull that loop up and through. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now pull that post stitch forward so we can single crochet right in the top of that decrease we made before. And then front post double crochet around that whole big chunk again, that whole decrease. Just like so. There we are. So now we've got that split going again. So that is the repeat. And then of course we'd skip the next stitch and single crochet in the next 5 and continue that on around for round 15. Round 16 is simply single crochet all the way around. Round 17, trying to see, we've got 3 minutes left and I want to squeeze in as much as humanly possible. Round 17, the big move that you're going to be making is you are going to be working treble front post 2 together stitches. And that's going to go over, oops, let me get centered again. Sorry, I was reading the instructions. It's going to go over this stitch and this stitch. So let me attempt to secure this one down just a little bit so that I can demonstrate what that looks like so we can at least see the stitch here. You'll bear with me for just a moment because I think this will be really valuable for people. I'm going to pretend that I've been crocheting all the way around again. And we're going to go ahead and just anchor. I'm going to go ahead and let's see what I can do here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just put a stitch in here so that it's holding together. But to do a front post treble crochet 2 together, I am going to get to the center section again. This is not going to be accurate to the pattern in terms of what I'm doing right now. I just want to show you the stitch itself so you know what a treble crochet front post 2 together looks like. To do that stitch, we are going to yarn over twice. That's what makes it a treble. Then you'll be going back to this previous post stitch right here, going behind it. We still want to come from the same side. Go behind that guy, yarn over, pull up your loop. Now yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, but leave 2 loops left on the hook. Okay, pull up some more yarn here. Then we're going to yarn over twice again. We're going to find that next post stitch all the way over here. We're going to be going under that guy, yarning over and pulling up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, and now we have just 3 loops left on the hook, and we yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. So then you go back to stitching in the stitches behind it until you come to that next section in between and do it again. Like I say, I know it's not the most accurate representation of it on the hat, but I wanted to demo at least what that actual stitch looked like right there. So you can see what makes it a treble, gives it the TR instead of the, or excuse me, the TR instead of the DC is that we yarn over twice. So we've got more of those loops, but it's just otherwise a decrease. So if you've worked double crochet decreases together before, just kind of work each one off to those last 2 loops and then yarned over and pulled through all 3. So that is the basics of the treble front post 2 together stitch. Long name, long stitch, but hopefully that little demo will be helpful when you get to that section. So unfortunately, we are out of time. I'm sorry we couldn't get to all the stitches and all the rounds. I think you can see why now. It definitely takes more than an hour to make one of these hats, but it is a really lovely pattern, and we've gotten on our little demo all the way down almost. Oh, they switched it back. There we go. We've got it down to just about right there. So we've gotten through a good portion of the hat. After that, it's more post stitches, which you've been doing. And there is a really good explanation of the puff stitch. The puff stitch used in this pattern, it's just a regular puff stitch, but it's a front post stitch. So you just work it around the post, just like we've been doing. Nothing unique there. So That should do it. Okay, now we can go ahead and switch bank. Thank you guys. Thank you for sticking with me for a couple extra minutes here so we can get through those stitches. It is a great hat, and hopefully this will give you the knowledge you need. Go back and watch the video. Definitely slow it down and pause it, and give it a try. It's a really fun hat, and I think it'll keep you really warm this winter. So thank you all so much for watching, and have a great night, everybody.